Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in, right? Alrighty, alrighty. Where does Z want to start? We will be speaking about Mr. Anton. Anton Daniels, right? Oh man, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. Apparently some of you already clicked the links. And GC says, Lord Anton defending that drugged out um calling a kid ER. Exactly. Yeah. Ah, we're gonna cover it. We're gonna cover it because this black fatigue thing. And look, man, this is very dangerous. Y'all playing around with very dangerous language. I get it. Anton's conservative, and over there, you can never be a victim. You can never be a victim of injustice. You ignore racism and anti-blackness. You minimize it. You act like it doesn't exist. You act like that's something that only the like you said, the drugged out folks engage and drugged out people engage in. You act like quote unquote black racism and black quote unquote black supremacy is a real thing, but there's no such thing as white supremacy. White supremacy ended like in the 1980s or something. That's how you're supposed to speak, right? Especially as a black conservative, right? The only real racists are the people that bring up racism. Only real racists are the Democrats and the white feminists, right? The white left. The racism of low expectations type talk. Yeah, and so this black fatigue thing, ooh, dangerous. Dane, will you playing you Anton, you playing with fire with that one. Y'all playing with fire with that one. Y'all don't see the pincer move they putting black people in with that one? I get to do whatever I want to do to you. I get to speak to you however I want to speak to you, and you responding, oh, I'm so tired of these black people and this racism talk. Like you're the only victim. All right, Anton. Your daughter's still black, bro. You're still a dark-skinned black man. Your wife is still a dark-skinned black woman, and that money can't save y'all. Anton, with the money you have, you should definitely know the difference between money and power. Huh? All right. Playing a very dangerous game, right? So y'all give Z a second. I gotta check something real quick, and then we will. As a matter of fact, we won't even have to do that. Let's do this. So here's Anton, right? And here's this teacher or used to be teacher, white woman. Hey, these are your son's children, teachers in some of them suburbs and some of the rural areas and some of the cities and metropolitan areas in America. Huh? Oh boy. So we'll play a bit of this and I will pause it when I think that I need to, right? Once again, fair use. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. We're going to be covering a couple of videos from Anton. Shout out to Anton Daniels. The links are in the description box, right? And here we go.
About Shiloh Hendricks, the woman who called a 5-year-old a racial slur. My first impression after watching the video, a little bit of white trash. I have to be honest, the kid was 5. I have worked with 5-year-olds for the last 15 years. Absolutely everything they do is out of pocket. They're like little unhinged drunk people. Nothing they do makes sense. A 5-year-old is capable of rifling through somebody's bag and taking things that don't belong to them. Ask any kindergarten teacher. But I realize why so many people are wanting to defend this, because black fatigue is real. I think society as a whole is there. We are just so unbelievably fed up with the ghetto ratchet behavior, entitlement, the victimhood, that they want to praise this woman. But what
Imagine low key, high key, defending calling a 5-year-old the N word. Imagine saying, because of what you adults have done, because of the ratchet behavior, she gets to call the 5-year-old an N-word, and we understand. It has nothing to do with him, really, though. It has to do with some random black people that are twerking on cars. Some random black people that are being loud in public. And so the 5-year-old has to be, not even discriminated against, but just straight up assaulted with this N-word. Huh? This 5-year-old has to be insulted with this N-word because of random other black adults, random other black people. I want you to appreciate these are the same people that tell black people to stop playing victim as they call a 5-year-old the N-word, as they're okay and backing and justifying a 5-year-old being called the N-word. Remember, these are the same people that tell you to stop playing victim as they victimize a 5-year-old. Oh boy, continuing.
But what she did is not praiseworthy. But also on the same hand, please remember that every day that us white people get on this app, we get called racial slurs. Every single day. So if you don't want to be called a racial slur, you also have to stop calling people racial slurs. You can't talk out of both sides of your mouth. But for the love of God, please leave the children out of it. Adults are stupid, they're gonna do stupid things. But you're a different level of stupid when you bring kids into it. Thanks for coming to my
So basically,
White folks being called racial slurs. White folks being called racial slurs when every other day it's Department of Justice bringing up charges on CEOs and CFOs and managers and leads who are either discriminating against their black employees, getting caught using the N-word against their black employees, setting up their black employees, putting too much load on their black employees, letting other non-black folks assault and insult their black employees. And we're worried about random black people on the internet supposedly using racial slurs against non-black people. And that allows and that justifies why a random white female adult is allowed to, and we kind of understand, like, I'm not saying it's okay, I'm just saying I kind of understand why she called a 5-year-old the N-word. I kind of get it. Like, I'm not saying she should, I'm just saying I get it. Oh boy. Huh? Alrighty then,
what
continuing.
this woman is saying is that two things could be true at the same time. And I said this the other day when this whole situation first broke out, and then we had the panel on Monday night, where I basically said that white people are starting to get fed up, and that is the whole premise behind black fatigue, is that nobody wants you to continue to play victim for the rest of your life. They tired of being held accountable.
Nobody wants to for you to play victim for the rest of your life. Anton, pump the brakes, bro. Pump the brakes. Appreciate what you're saying. Nobody wants black people to play victim for the rest of their life, so it's okay to call a 5-year-old the N-word. Huh? No one wants black people to play victim for the rest of their life, so it's so I kind of understand. However you're going to clean it up, Anton, after this, I'm not putting words in your mouth, because that should be the end of the discussion. She called the 5-year-old the N-word. She called the 5-year-old the N-word. That's the beginning and the end right there. But everybody start dancing afterward. Everybody's dancing now. Huh? And y'all gives you a second. And we're back. We're going to have to pause again in a little minute. But yes, so this victim talk, look, either black people are victims or they're not. Ooh, goddamn. Either individual black people are victims or they're not. This playing victim thing really reeks of you talking like you a victim, and even if you are, shut up about it. Ooh, goddamn. Huh? Isn't that what we're really telling black people? Shut up about the abuse. Shut up about the systemic issues. Huh? Whether it's housing practices, whether it's schooling, whether it's imprisonment, every time there's ever any independent studies, every time there's ever any government studies, even conservatives, when they lean in and they look, oh crap, god damn it, black people got a point. God damn it. Isn't it because the way they speak? Isn't it because the way they act? Isn't it because of the wretched behavior? Isn't that why we misjudge them, mischaracterize them? Isn't that why? Isn't that why the over policing and the over sentencing? Isn't that why? Isn't that why we're not hiring them? It's because the way they act. Uh-oh. Huh? Wow. The victim mentality, Anton? That's where you going with it? So you get invited to one DC banquet and you just gonna go all the way with it. Hey, look how easy it is to buy off a Negro. He's a little conservative anyway, or he's conservative anyway. He gets to be invited to a DC to Donald Trump's, victory DC, whatever the hell, banquet or whatever, and he's just gonna defend this to the hill. Look, I'm gonna die on this hill. Okay, Anton, I see you. All right, Anton, I see you. Huh? This is where we are with it. A 5-year-old, Anton, brother. This might be the time that you know when you might take for a side, but they're dead ass wrong on this particular subject, and so you just get quiet. You get mute. Anton said, "To hell, damn all that. I'm riding with them till the wheels fall off. Z, I don't care. All right, huh? All right, Anton. Continuing.
Ancestors did. They tired of you blaming all of your failures and the things that you weren't able to accomplish on white people.
Their ancestors did, as in past tense. No, Anton. Now they're perpetuating it now. Every time, like Mr. Z said, when you dig into banks, when you dig into employers, when you dig into government agencies, when you dig into IRS, they always show, say that again, Z, always show, even hate crimes, even in the middle of quote unquote Asian hate crime, black people still outstrip them. And who's becoming victims of hate crimes? Who were victims of hate crimes? Uh-oh. Anton, it's not did. It's not past tense. Huh? What's happening now? This truly is a matter of white folks saying my feelings are hurt, or I don't get to say and do whatever I want to do to you, not so explicitly anyway. And so that's the same as that's the same as you possibly calling me some type of racial slur. It's the same. Don't you get it, Z? It's the same. White folks' racial abuse of black people, non-black people's racial abuse of black people is the same as a black person using some type of racial slur on the internet of all places against any random non-black person. Okay, all right, that's what y'all saying? That's where we are with it? Huh? Hey, man, Anton, you dancing, bro. You're dancing. I see you. You dancing. Huh? Wow. All right.
They're tired of you sitting there saying that you're a victim every single day, regardless of what your circumstance is, regardless of what you've been given, regardless of all of the affirmative action, regardless of the fact that you're saying that you're the most educated.
Regardless of all the affirmative action, who benefited the most from affirmative action, Anton? By far, not even close. Was it not white women that turned around and still married white men and essentially doubled their money? Who benefited the most? You said affirmative action. Who benefited the most from affirmative action? Is it not white women? And then wait a minute, white men, disabled white men that might be on the spectrum, LGBTQ white men, any random white man that's not like 10 toes down straight white men with pink hair, any white man claiming anything but a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant white man, so whitey McWhite, any white man that doesn't neatly fit into the narrow ass box was the person that benefited second most from affirmative action. Oh boy. Affirmative action. All right, Anton. Hey, Anton, I mean, if we're gonna give the white racist a pass for calling the black child the N-word, brother, you got to do better than this. You definitely have the intelligence. You definitely do. Huh? I know you don't think that's what you're doing, but brother, that's what you're doing. Continuing.
But really, you're the most enrolled. They tired of you blaming your debt on the system. They tired of you saying that white men are the problem.
Everybody's blaming their debt on the system now because we realize that it's predatory. Check my community tab. They're preying on people's poverty. Now you have the ability to break down payments on just about everything because they know everybody's poor as hell and don't really got no money outside of credit. Yeah, that's not a black thing, Anton. The system's predatory, particularly on poor folks, black poor folks. Blaming the system for everything. Yeah. It's called a society. It's called a bureaucracy. It's called a system. What? Wait a minute. Blaming the system that allows for the predatory corporations and banks. We're not supposed to do that? Then why do we vote for these people then? I thought they said protect from threats both foreign and domestic. I thought that's what they said. So you're supposed to blame the system when they allowed for you to be preyed on. Huh. All right, continuing.
White men are the problem. They tired of you asking for programs, and they're tired of being held accountable for the decisions that you're making every single day.
She'll be watching her back for the rest of her life. Yeah, because that's not thuggery, hoodrattery, animalistic. This is why people have black fatigue.
Animalistic. There's black people animalistic. Anton, you didn't catch that? Hey man, hey, okay, all right. And this is why people have black fatigue, because black people keep on saying we're racist when we're being racist. Black people keep on saying we're being racist when we're being racist. That's why black people have black fatigue, and that's why it's kind of okay that, this white woman called this black child the N-word. I mean, I'm not saying that she should have. I'm just saying I understand. All right, Chris Rock, all right. Huh? Continuing.
It's not normal behavior. People do stupid stuff. People say stupid stuff. That's life. It's not normal to threaten
People do stupid stuff. People say stupid stuff like saying the N-word, calling a 5-year-old the N-word. Wait a minute. So where are all the black people doing stupid stuff like calling a 5-year-old white boy whatever racial slur? Huh? Why? Let me get this right. Let's dead this. Black people are police officers also. Where are all the videos of black officers hemming up, beating up, abusing white folks, Asian folks, Latino folks? Oh, wait a minute. You can't really find it. Okay. Where are all the stories of white folks getting abused as children, getting called all type of racial slurs as children by black folks? Where are all the videos? Where are all the recordings of black folks calling Latinos or Asians all type of racial slurs? Black people have stores also, right? Where are all and every once in a while, a non-black person to patronize the business? Where are all the stories of black people who do wrong or harm or get caught saying all type of foolish stuff, racist stuff about these non-black folks okay, Sylvia's been around for decades. Where's the stories of waiters at Sylvia calling white folks in New York all type of racial slurs? The restaurants in Chicago that are owned by black folks, in Texas that are owned by black folks, that's been owned by black folks for years and decades, that non-black people patronize. Where's all the stories? Huh? People say stupid stuff and do stupid stuff. Then why aren't black people getting caught just randomly calling 5-year-old white kids, white children, all type of racial slurs? Where's those stories? Why is it that black people somehow magically have the discipline not to show their racial animus to children? Just saying. Continuing.
Live people because you don't like what they're doing. But here we are. People are getting sick and tired of opening up TikTok.
Isn't America founded on people unaliving people because you don't like what they're doing? I mean, isn't that a story as old as time, human history? I'm not justifying it, But I mean, I don't know if that's the statement you want to use. You don't get to unalive people because you don't like what they're doing. Then there would have never been a World War One, a World War Two, a Cold War, a Vietnam War, a Korean War. There would have been never a War of Roses. There would have never been any war. The Egyptians versus the Assyrians. There would have never been. What? The Persians versus the Greek city-states. There would have what? Japan versus China. China versus Russia. Huh? Japan versus Russia. There would have never been any of that. What are you talking about? Continuing.
Tired of opening up TikTok and seeing brawls on cruise ships, brawls in the airport, like literally the most ghetto behavior. We're tired. We're tired of it. But then
We're tired of it. Okay, fine. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Ma'am, what does that have to do with the 5-year-old child being called the N-word, being hit with a racial slur? Okay, fine, even if we give you that. Okay, we're tired of seeing black ratchet people. Y'all are full of crap. What does that have to do with the 5-year-old being hit with a racial slur? I thought Anton just said y'all are tired of black people playing victim, and then you're going to victimize a 5-year-old. I just want you to understand, you're minimizing a 5-year-old being called a racial slur, which is him being victimized. Okay, all righty, all right. So it sounds yeah, it sounds fair, it sounds clear. Yep. Sound argument. Here we go.
and acting like it's not your fault that you act that way. Yeah.
And so that comment proved her right. And for whatever reason, y'all think that the white people don't have eyes, that people that are not black don't have eyes, and they can't see how ghetto a lot of this is. And then I have to pay for it because I got to go outside.
We're gonna get to that. I have to pay for it. Respectability politics solves nothing. That's why you see such a huge pushback against it. Can it soften the blow here and there? Can you maybe have a cordial conversation with a non-black person? Okay, maybe yes. Maybe an okay relationship with a non-black person, yes. But respectability politics is not the reason why white folks are using racial slurs against black children. Stop it. And with that, and then I have to pay for it, and there we go. Anton, are you saying that you realize the limits of your money because you're black? Anton, we know you move in nice spaces, and Mr. Z saw you in the Ferrari drop top. Shout out to you. And are you saying that being black trumps that money and that access? But instead of blaming the right folks, you know, the white folks, you're blaming other black people because they not acting right. Okay, yeah, that's it. In America, the issue is that black people aren't acting right. It has nothing to do with the anti-blackness baked into the system. Okay, yeah, that's it. Huh? Yikes. Imagine living in America, and then blaming black people for the way white folks treat them and think about them. You know, the same country that bought black folks over on ships, bound, and made them property to tend the fields and pick the cotton. For no pay and get raped. Imagine that country. In that country, a black man is telling you that he pretty much has to be judged negatively by the descendants, better yet, of those same white folks because the black folks aren't acting right. Okay, yeah, that's it. Huh? Yeah. All right. Continue.
And account for what you did. People are tired.
Anton said he has to account for what random black people are doing. Anton said he's the guy in the office space. He's the black guy in the office building. And when they walk up, hey, Anton, what's the story of Drake and Kendrick? Huh? Anton, hey, Anton, do you know that random black guy that knocked over the Quickie Mart the other day, the bodega the other day? Hey, Anton. How do you explain George Floyd, Anton? What do you think? Huh? I heard he was an abuser, Anton. I heard he used to hit on women, Anton. What do you think, Anton? Huh? Anton, don't you think that Philando Castile, wasn't he reaching for his gun, Anton? Huh? Oh no. Anton said, I'm tired of having to take account for you black people and your behavior. Huh? Yeah, Anton said Anton just want to enjoy his money and his family. Shout out to Anton. And he's tired of being weighed down by being black, and it's because of the way random black people are acting in society. It has nothing to do with the fact that Anton was born black in America. Huh? Exactly, Trill. Don't you think Tamir Rice had no business in that park where the cops roll up on him and he was unalived in less than 2 seconds? That's a drive-by on a 12-year-old. Huh? Uh-oh. Huh? Exactly, Black Guru. Don't you support the police, Anton? Don't you think black communities need more policing from white police officers? You know, you got to break a couple of eggs to get an omelet, and we got to decrease the crime in Chicago, 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 Camden. Huh? Wait, y'all. I forgot. I think we forgot another city. Chicago. Huh? Wait. I think we forgot another city. Chicago. Huh? Yikes. Continuing.
Black people, I'll just say this first. Let's start with the whole Shiloh, whatever her name is, situation, right? Because I'm not sure that I actually spoke on this outside of the panel. So let me address this. Again, more than one thing can be true at the same time. Was it right that they called the child the N-word? Absolutely not. That is already a given. I'm not sure that there's anybody that actually can justify why it would make sense to call a 5-year-old that name. 100%.
Anton, you're not slow. That is what they're doing. What and anything short of stopping right there, which you said it's not justified to call a child the N-word. Anything after that is the justification. Ooh, god damn. If the statement doesn't stop right there, everything else is justification. What that white lady on the screen is doing and what you're doing is justifying it. It's beginning in. That's the end of the statement. All right, guys, turning off the camera. Huh? Oh boy. There's no justification. I don't think everybody knows there's no justification for calling a child the N-word, but uh-oh. Continuing.
To understand why people are supporting this person, it's because they have black fatigue and they're tired of, I'll give you an example. And please, miss me with all of the bullshit, always getting mad at me for explaining to you why other people may be seeing things a little bit differently because I just
Anton said he gonna be the white whisperer. Look, black people, I'm just trying to explain to you why non-black people might see this a little different and understand that they're okay with calling the child the N-word. Like, I'm just trying to explain it to you why they're seeing it a little different, why it's not that big of a deal calling the 5-year-old an N-word. Huh? And miss me with me trying to explain it to you little lonely, poor, unintelligent, uneducated Negroes. Continuing.
Differently because I decided to be objective enough to look at it from.
You're not being objective, bro. You're being self-interested. You're not being objective. You're not being objective. First of all, this is not a case of calling something down the middle and being objective. Aren't you a Christian, Anton? Don't you claim that? No, this is the time to be moral. This is the time to be fully subjective. Objective, number one, you're not being objective. Number two, you're not supposed to be objective on this case. Huh? We're talking about a 5-year-old child. If y'all let this slip, do you appreciate you open the gates of hell? If they could call a 5-year-old an N-word and get money, $700,000 off of it. And black people like you are saying, I'm not saying that she should, I'm just saying, like, you gotta understand. Do you appreciate if the 5-year-old gets to be called the N-word, do you know what that means for all the rest of us? Anton, you realize you're a black man, right? A dark-skinned black man, right? You realize that, right? In America, you think you're all right, all right. Huh? A 5-year-old. Y'all let that one go, and let's see where we are in a year or two or three, if even that long. Oh boy. All right, continuing.
Perspective, instead of just looking at it from the black home, black hand side. Nobody want to hear that shit no more. And
Nobody want to hear about us being black anymore. I'm tired of having to justify our existence around these white racist conservatives. Ooh. Nobody want to hear that anymore. The black side. I'm like, hey, Anton said, look, he got his money. He's doing good. And the only thing holding him down is being black, and it's you Negro's fault. Huh? Nobody want to hear that anymore. Hey, Anton sounds like an abuse victim. Huh? Oh. Anton said, I don't watch black people bring up race around them white racist conservatives and get their head taken off. Ain't nobody trying to hear that no more. Ooh. We know what it really is, Mr. Anton Daniels. We know what it is, Mr. Daniels. We know. Huh? We know it from the left. We know it from the right. We know it from the conservative side of the political spectrum and from the more liberal left side of the political spectrum. We know. Huh? It's not really about race, is it, Anton? It's about class. It's about behavior. It's about demeanor. We're not racist, Anton. We got rid of racism years ago. What about affirmative action, Anton? Huh? What about welfare? We hated black people. What welfare, Anton? We don't want to hear that anymore. Anton sounding just like Myron. Ooh, god damn. Hey, y'all are weak for not letting the white folks call you all type of N-words and joke in your face about your race. Mr. Z Robin. Continuing.
And more importantly, nobody cares about what you think because realistically, it's been proven that nobody takes accountability, which means that you'll never have any power to do anything or say anything to anybody. You don't control nothing. You're not going to say anything. And so that's how it plays out. But the other side of it is that it's a little bit difficult to validate or justify it when everybody that is black then calls everybody that is black the same thing. So
Anton, this is the weakest argument ever. Anton, I can sit there and watch you, if you have any siblings, go off on your mother. I can watch y'all go off on your mother, and I better not say a thing. You want to know why? Because everyone on planet Earth, every living, breathing, thinking, not vegetable person on planet Earth, and even the people that are veggies will probably come back and tell you, guess what? There's in-group privilege and there's out-group. If you watch a Latino call another Latino a racial slur and then they laugh about it, are you going to turn around and say it? Oh, wait a minute. You realize that you can't. If they put it in their music, are you going to rap it in front of them, sing it in front of them? Oops. Huh? Anton, Mr. Z has watched Jewish folks use racial slurs against each other, like literally in my face. Did Mr. Z feel an inkling to start using it? Huh? Uh-oh. Huh? Continuing.
call people it, but you can't call it, and then we're going to change the definition of a word because we're going to say that we're using it as a term of endearment, but then we're going to not validate other people because we know what your intentions are behind it. Yes, we get it that they're having bad intentions as a result of it, but again, it starts to get a little bit old and a little bit tiring trying to hold other people accountable when we don't hold ourselves accountable. I'll give you another.
Anton, there is no holding Black people accountable. What this society wants is for Black people to appreciate and to accept their socioeconomic position at the bottom of the pyramid scheme. That's what accountability looks like. Anton, make sure you let them Negroes know and they accept that there will be no elevation in this society for them as a group. Period. There is no holding Black people accountable because that's not what they really mean, and you know it. It's not about accountability, it's about power. It's about Black people not challenging the racial pyramid scheme, the hierarchy. Anton, you're on the side of the political spectrum that is obsessed with hierarchy. And you know it. They are obsessed with hierarchy, and you know it. Huh? Holding accountable means make sure your soldiers know that we outrank them. Accountable. And exactly how would that accountability look like for Black people? Would it look like a high imprisonment rate? Oh, wait a minute. We already got that. A disproportionate amount of them in poverty? Ooh, wait a minute. We have that too. A disproportionate amount of them homeless? Wait a minute. We got that too. Yikes. What would accountability look like? Huh? Tunnel Runner says it's called respect. Tunnel Runner, these people don't do respect, they do fear. They'll say the word respect. They don't want respect, they want fear. They don't believe that you can respect someone without fearing them. Fearing, and if it's not just fearing them, particularly it's fearing the repercussions of dealing with them, messing with them, or crossing them. And the mutual respect is really mutual fear. They exposed their hand when they realized that Russia had just as many more nuclear weapons, and they told you mutually assured destruction. And what a coinky dink! It's called mad. What a coinky dink, huh? There's no respect. It's fear. And if they don't fear the repercussions of messing with you, they will mess with you. Huh? Continuing.
Every single time that there is a conflict, we always look to see whether it's a white person or a Black person. I just recently looked at the press conference.
America was built off of race, Anton. It's not a we Black people, it's a we Americans, goddamn. America was built off of race, Anton. They engaged in a civil war over race, Anton. They spent another century implementing hard and fast race rules, Anton. Even post Jim Crow era, Anton, every time they check anywhere, anybody check anywhere, they see the anti-Blackness. It doesn't matter what industry it is. What are you talking about? Huh?
At the family
Continuing.
of Tyree Nichols, who I can't justifiably say that the cops did everything that they're supposed to do in order to handle that situation right. We know that the cops did it wrong and they handled it wrong when it came to killing that boy Tyree Nichols.
Tyree Nichols. Wasn't Tyree Nichols the one? Oh, those were Black cops. I see what you did there, Anton. I see what you did there. Look. It's not always racism. Look, black cops abuse the black person. Anton, watch this, y'all. First, one-off situation. Okay, fine. We'll go with it anyway. What system and country were those Black folks raised in? Goddamn. Oops. What schools did those children attend? Yikes! When they well, those black men attend when they were children? What system were they raised in? What media did they consume? Who paid for movies, music that they listened to? Yikes. Yeah. So you're telling me black people were being anti-black in an anti-black system? That's what you're saying, Anton? That's if I agree with your framing. I don't really agree with your framing, but we'll go with it. So you're telling me black people were being anti-black in an anti-black system? You're telling me that black people raised in an anti-black system and they committed anti-black violence on a black person? That's what you're saying. And you're using that as an example to minimize an adult white woman calling a 5-year-old black child the N-word. All right,
And
continuing.
that boy Tyree Nichols. I don't believe that the cops was right or wrong. That goes without saying. Anybody that's watched the footage know that he got his ass kicked. Didn't have a gun, didn't have any of these things. Obviously, 2 cops took the charge. It looks like 3 other cops got off. I don't know what I didn't follow the whole case, but I seen they got off. I don't think that they should have been completely not guilty about the whole thing. Of course not. Then they started making about race. And I was wondering to myself, okay, how is this one about race? Because it's all black cops. Oh, nope.
Y'all gives you a second. A second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Y'all give me a second. I'll be with y'all in a minute.
Got to go after the police chief, got to go after everybody. Even though they got fired, even though all of this, they released the body cam footage immediately. Everybody, it's a race issue. The Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf, it wasn't a student versus a student issue. Now it's a black versus white issue. Black Lives Matters, even though it was an organization that robbed people and was proven to be fraudulent, and they bought mansions off of y'all, but we painted the streets Black Lives Matters, and people came after Candace Owens, but now all of a sudden everybody want to wake up and say, you know what, I kind of rock with Candace Owens because she's finally critical of Trump, which she's been objective the whole time. She just
She wasn't objective the whole time. No one's really truly objective, Anton. Stop. Continuing.
she just didn't agree with y'all politics. But every single thing, we first have to find out, is it a white person? Is it anybody that's not black? Because guess what's going to happen? We are not going to hold ourselves accountable in any way, shape, or form.
What does accountability have to do with the 5-year-old being called the N-word? Continuing.
The big black statue, the big black bronze statue in New York City, and we need representation of the black woman in there. And people are tired. People are absolutely.
People are tired of black people being told that this system is racist. I got you. We got you, Anton. When the system is racist. Continuing.
Absolutely tired. It's old. It is old as snow. Nobody cares anymore. And again, I don't know what y'all thinking. I don't know if y'all think that people don't have eyes. Similar to what this woman said, now they threatening her life. You're going to watch your back for the rest of your life. Does that make sense? And for some reason, somehow, y'all said that black people can't be racist. Where? Where can't you be racist? Y'all ever met Letitia James? Openly racist? Y'all ain't.
So what you're telling me, Anton, is that black people have created a system that keeps white folks down, that artificially enhances black people's position and keeps non-black folks down. That's what you're saying, right? We're not talking, excuse me for my background, we're not talking about hurt feelings here. What you're telling us is that black people have created a system where they keep non-black people artificially down. You're telling me that black people have created a system that elevates them above everyone else and that sabotages anyone else, right? That's what you're saying, huh? So if you're going to equate quote unquote racisms against each other, this is not a real thing. If that's what you're going to engage in, then you would have to go all the way and say that black people have created spaces in America that discriminate against white folks. When there's investigation of these things, what they find is black people are indifferent, if not laudatory, of white folks. Uh-oh. But keep on going off. Continuing.
Openly racist? You ain't never met Michelle Obama? You ain't.
Wait, so you tell me there's places where there's written on written record Michelle Obama saying anti-white stuff about white folks? Doing anti-white stuff to white folks? Anton, did you just want to shoehorn in former First Lady Michelle Obama's name? Where's the evidence that Michelle Obama said or did something heinous to somebody not black? Where's the evidence of that? You might have overstepped. Yeah, we have our issues with former First Lady Michelle Obama, but where is the evidence that she was racist towards a non-black person? Huh? She was racist towards a non-black person, and yet wasn't Malia dating a white dude at one point? Wait a minute. Didn't the Obamas have the white dude at their home during COVID? Yikes. So you're telling me former First Lady Michelle Obama knew her daughter was sleeping with, probably, we definitely know what's happening, with the white guy at her place of residence, and she was racist. I'm not saying it's not possible, but oh boy, continuing.
Power that rally against and then rally for people that are married to white people, and then y'all try to justify it to say that they got a percentage of black in them, and then get the hell out of here. Y'all ain't never met some of these people that are some of the most powerful or they have the biggest voices in the world. Y'all ain't never met Charlamagne the God? Y'all never seen that?
You don't get away with that. Nope. Powerful and influential are two different things. Number one. Number two, I see how you walk that back because you know the difference. Where are the powerful black people in America? Name them. Let's see if you can get off of one hand. I see how you walked that back. We saw that moonwalk. Huh? Powerful black people in America? We're not talking about rich. We're not even talking about wealthy. Powerful. Power as in the ability to enact their will on non-black people. Powerful. Powerful to enact their will on non-black people without facing any repercussions. Powerful. Oh, show me those black people. Where are they? Huh? Where are they? I see how you walk that back. Anton, you trying a little too hard, bro. A little too much, a little bit too much. Geez, you get invited to one DC dinner and it's just to hell with the black community. I hear you. I hear you. Continuing.
I ain't never seen none of these people operating and just moving around and doing what they want to do when they want to do it. You know, for black people, it is tiring. And I want to review another video that I seen come across my timeline after y'all sent me this one. I want to review another video because I want to have a conversation for real, from a black person's perspective that was speaking about it. Because it's old. It is. It's super old. It's a little bit tiring. And nobody wants to continue to play victim. When are you going to start getting yourselves together? When are you going to stop selling drugs to your own people in your community?
Wait a minute. Oh, we talking about a 5-year-old being called an N-word and Anton with full-on old racist redneck. Wait a minute. The 5-year-old child gets called the N-word by a white racist woman, a racist white woman, and Anton says, when you gonna stop selling drugs to other people in your community? Hey, hey, man, let that Confederate flag fly. Wait a minute. Anton is from what, Detroit, right? Anton from Detroit. Anton said, F all that. I'm from the antebellum South. Wait a minute. Oh, wow. So we went from talking about the 5-year-old. I want you to understand, we really haven't really covered the 5-year-old being called an N-word. Anton done talked about just about everything else but that. Oh, wow. Hey, man, y'all allow Anton, I just want you to understand, you're allowing for the Overton window to be moved. You're allowing for the Overton window to be moved. If we're now allowing and justifying a 5-year-old being called the N-word, do you understand what you're allowing for next? Because they started from the bottom on this one. They're in the pits of hell right now. You're allowing for the 5-year-old. They didn't start off. We're not. Well, we already know the history of America. This conversation right now, I'm talking about like right now, didn't start off with where it usually starts off, justifying, right, a black man being assaulted or murdered by the authorities. No, that's not this conversation, right? What we're talking about is a 5-year-old child being assaulted with the N-word by an adult. That's what we're speaking on. And you're talking about selling drugs to other people in your community. Tell them how you really feel, Anton. Now y'all see why Z has a knee-jerk reaction to respectability politics? Do you appreciate it now? For all, I know my subscribers rock with me and understand why. This is what it leads to. This is what it leads to. Anton is justifying a 5-year-old being called an N-word. He could try to frame it with, Nosy, you put words in my mouth. Nosy, you mischaracterizing what I'm saying. Brother, that's what you're doing right now, bro. We're talking about a 5-year-old being called an N-word and white folks donating to the woman who did it at the tune of $700, and that's last time we checked, $700,000. And you over here talking about selling drugs to others in your community? What? Huh?
Stop
Continuing.
being a majority of crime? When are we going to stop saying fuck the police?
Well, he said the majority of crime. So, Anton, you believe that 12, 14% of black people commit half of the crime in America? You believe that? You said the majority. I want you to understand, Anton supposedly is a black man. We're not talking to the white racist. Well, not white racist, that's white racist. Anton is a black man from Detroit. Spouting off like KKK talking points right now. This is like neo-Nazi talking points. Huh? Wow, that's what we are, everyone. That's what we are. Hey, he gets invited to he's a millionaire. He gets invited to one dinner in DC. I'm exaggerating. I don't know how many dinners Anton been to. One banquet, one ball, one dance. And Anton said, "Hey man, I ain't never going back." Okay, Anton, we hear you. We hear you. If I gotta throw every Negro under the bus, I'll do it. Oh, all right. All right, bro. We hear you. Wow. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Wow. Hey, y'all heard it. Hey, y'all hearing it yourselves. Y'all might disagree with Z's framing of this, but you're hearing Anton say this with his own words. This is supposed to be a conversation about a 5-year-old that really shouldn't be a conversation. A 5-year-old child being called the N-word, and you watch that white woman low-key justify it, and now you're watching as Anton, not even low-key, high-key justify it. Or be like, no, I'm not justifying it, Z. I'm just saying I understand that non-black people have black fatigue. Bruh, if y'all let that black fatigue thing really take, appreciate how it's going to be weaponized. They're going to be able to beat your ass. They're going to be able to call you inward to your face. And when you respond or react to that, you see, this is why black people, this is why we have black fatigue. You see, they're playing victim of our abuse. Oh, you see a black person playing victim of my abuse again? You want to slow walk right back to Dreptomania being a problem? These slaves trying to get off the plantation. Dreptomania. Okay, yeah, that's it. You don't appreciate that's what black fatigue is? Huh? Y'all hear that, so y'all know what Z gonna have to say. Wait for it, wait for it. Straight tracks, straight tracks, straight tracks. And here we go, y'all. Continuing.
Crime. When are we going to stop saying fuck the police? When are we going to stop doing all of the?
We're gonna stop saying F the police when the police stop being abusive and racist towards black people. So probably never. And American history, probably never. When we gonna stop saying F the police when the police stop being abusive towards black people? That's when we're gonna stop. So maybe never is the answer. Uh-oh. Continuing.
When are we not going to go into areas and, make it worse, but then say that other people are gentrifying it when they're making it better and they raising the property rights in places that.
Anton, white flight is something white people commit on everyone. Too many Asians move in, they move out because they don't want the competition, and they're saying it. They don't want their kids to have to compete at that super high level to be valedictorian, so they move out. It's not because of black crime. Huh? Black people are so violent, I feel so uncomfortable in the neighborhood and look around the graffiti and huh? Uh-oh. You need to update. Oh God, Z was about to sound like goddamn Jason Black for a second. Update your files, right? No, but for real, you do need to update your files though. You need to update your rhetoric. Your rhetoric is like a couple decades old, a few decades old actually. Which means it's not up to date, which means it's out of context. Which means it's wrong. Uh-oh. Wow, Anton, wow. I ain't even go through your comments yet neither. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. Continuing.
So it's a conversation worth having, I believe. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon, link is in the description. Also, Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'll holler at you guys later. Peace.
Talk about Shiloh Hendricks, the woman who called a 5-year-old a racial slur. My first impression after watching the video.
All right, y'all. So that was that first clip. I have another one. I have another one from Anton's channel, but as my title said, but have you considered, Anton? Are you really thinking about what you're saying here? You appreciate the Overton window and what your type of rhetoric is allowing for? Brother, we're talking about a 5-year-old being called the N-word, and you bring up Terry Nichols. We're talking about a 5-year-old being called the N-word, and you bring up BLM. We're talking about a 5-year-old being hit with a racial slur from an adult, and you bring up gentrification and why you understand. I get it. I get why they don't want to be around us. Huh? Oof. Oof. Jesus. A 5-year-old black child being called the N-word. And essentially what Anton is saying is, hey Z, I kind of get it though. Like I'm not saying it's right, Z, but I kind of get it. Black fatigue, don't you know? You know, non-black people are tired of us calling out their anti-blackness when they're being anti-black. And so what we're going to do is find the most hyperbolic, out there black woman on a college campus chastising the white guy for having dreads and be like, see, that's what it is. That's the reason. That's not the reason. Stop. Huh? That's not the reason. Anton, hey, bro, y'all playing with fire. Y'all are playing with fire. That Overton window, bro. Huh? Man. Black people. Hey, I don't think this is smart. Huh? I don't think this is smart. This is definitely not wise. Anton's been on Fox News, and so Anton said, hey, F what you talking about, Z. I'm rich, and I've been on Fox News. People didn't see my face, right? I was in D.C. for Trump's inauguration. I'm winning, Z. And what can you say to that? Yeah, Anton, you winning. Clearly, my worldview is the better worldview. We got a whole lot more decades to live, bro. Hopefully, actually. Right? We got a few more decades left on this planet. We'll see. Huh? We'll see. And let's play this. And so once again, fair use. And this is Anton speaking to, I want to say her name is Jazz. There's two of them. One of them I think is Jas, and then the other one is Jess or Jass. I can't recall. But we're gonna let this go for a little bit because it's the very end that I really want to cover. Where the young lady accuses Anton of not liking black women, and her argument is interesting to say the least. And continue.
Should black men date white women? Girl was talking about how she was approached by a lady or a young girl and her group of friends, and the girl asked, do you have a problem with black men dating white women? And some of them were like, yeah, some of them said no. She went on to say, my bigger question would be, why do the white women feel like they need to date black men? And then she went and explained like, oh, it's because of the kids, and they want them to the kids to look a certain way. Stay the fuck in your own lane. If you don't like to date outside of your race, that's great. I love that for you. Stay the fuck in your own lane. If you're a white woman that wants to date a black man, go for it. What does a white and a black man's relationship, how does that affect you? With me and Shane, and when I post him on my social media and I get all the comments, I'm like, how the fuck is my relationship an inconvenience to your life?
Okay. Why do black women have...
Before we get to that, we have to look. Dear white lady, you need to stop pretending like you're dumb. Like stop playing unless you are dumb. But Like you do know why, right? You do like everybody knows how to count, right? Everybody knows like there's a finite number of men, a finite number of women, at least currently on planet Earth. I know we're having children every day. That's decreasing. But like, could we stop acting like there's like a zillion six-figure men, or like a zillion men over 6 feet, or a zillion men like that? This is like you're playing dumb. Unless you're not playing, huh? Unless you're not playing, but Mr. Z would suspect or thinks you're playing dumb. Mr. Z hopes you're playing dumb, huh? You get it, right? I hope you do. Continue.
Why do black women have a problem when black men date white women?
I'll be honest. From my personal experience, the only time race has ever become a conversation is when, like, in the past, when I had relationships, and I would bring like my white girlfriend to the cookout or to Thanksgiving or to Christmas.
I told y'all. That brother said yes. You right. Black women do be talking to their nephews on top of crazy and asking all the questions at the cookout or the family reunion or the Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving dinner. I said it. I wasn't joking. Like I was joking, but I was being dead ass serious at the same time. Like that's what happens. Huh? Black women, there's a consequence to the loud and obnoxious and all that other stuff concerning black people. Right? Oh man. Your sons love you. And as that the black lady that I covered yesterday speaking on being at the barbershop overhearing a young brother talking about his white fiance. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I might be going through a dead zone right now, so we'll see. But the middle-aged black lady that was speaking about it, and she said the young brother said, I love them, I just don't love it. I don't like this. I don't love it. Exactly. And as I've said before, stop asking your nephews why they popped up at the family reunion with the white girl or the Latina. You know why. Huh? You know why. Huh? Everybody want to play dumb. Y'all know what it is. So like this young man said, it's not really an issue until I go to essentially a family event. And then the aunties start asking questions. Uh-oh. Right? It gives you a second. Well, actually, no, we're good. We're good.
That was
Continuing.
really the only time it was a problem. And then, my mom pulling me to the side, and when I'm single and stuff like that, and I'm talking to my new girl right now, the first question she always asks me is she white? Is she black? It's never, is she a good girl? Does she treat you right? You know what I'm saying? Like, is she nice to you and stuff like that? I think personally, it's because, I think it has something to do with the fact that, like, dating a woman that doesn't look like your mom or something like that, maybe they take it as a sense of offense at times. But for the most part, like, whenever I'm around different groups, it's not even really a topic of conversation more than it is.
It is a topic of conversation. It's just not in your face, bro. Could we stop acting like America is this racially neutral place? We're just racially harmonious, and that we don't see color, we don't see black or white, we don't see Asian, we don't see South Asian, East Asian. We don't even know what that means. That race talk is for the rednecks and for the loser black people. We don't talk about race over here. We don't see it. The only time race is brought up is when black people try to impose it so they can get over on people. America was founded with race in mind, with hierarchy in mind, with black people being at the bottom and white folks being at the top of the racial pyramid scheme, of the hierarchy. And it did not change. Huh? It's not a coincidence that in America, where they had to fight a civil war to free the slaves, the black slaves, that white people who constitute some 60 some odd percent of the population constitute 80 some odd percent of the wealth. That's not by accident. And black people who constitute what, 14 or so, 12% of the population only constitute what, 2 and some odd percent of the wealth. That's not by accident. That's not because black people ain't acting right. That's not because your nephew has $7,000 and $8,000 worth of apparel in his closet. That's not because your niece spends way too much money on hair and hair products and weave. That's not because black people are spending beyond their means. That's by design. And now that the system is preying on white folks more and more, we know they've been preying on your everyday white person. But now it's so explicit when they got white folks now financing $35 pizza. Huh? 3 payments of $11.38. Huh? Now do everyone get it? No, y'all still don't get it. Don't worry about it. Continue.
More than it is like when I'm actually like at, you know, in like black environments where, you know, it's like, oh, you're dating a white girl.
So I'm gonna say this: it does happen within different cultures. So it's not only the black and with the white, because in different cultures, the Indian culture, and they get shunned dating outside their culture. The Muslims, the Hinduism, like they're strict on it. Like it came to a part with my mom and my dad. But
I guess I'll speak as particularly because we're talking about white versus black.
Yeah, and with
but if it's white versus black, wait a minute. We hear this all the time with white women and white men telling you, yeah, my parents would never allow for me to marry a black person, or they said I will be written out the will. Like white folks say this all the time. So it's fascinating to me when you come across black people who say, no, you know, it's not the white folks, it'd be black people. What? Huh? So y'all taking white folks smiling in y'all face thing seriously. Alrighty then, continuing.
the topic, I see black women reacting more to a black man dating a white woman compared to a black woman dating a white man, way more. Because I don't even think I've seen pushback regarding Serena Williams or the other people compared to, we see these athletes, these famous guys. And to me, I don't care who these people date, because I ain't trying to date these men. These men want to date white women, go ahead, date them. I don't care, but I'm not about to talk shit about who they want to date. I just don't understand why it's such a problem when we see people going outside their norm when it comes to more men than to.
I mean, people be making statements and don't realize what they say. Why is it a problem when people go out their norm? You just said it though. It's because it's out of the norm. Look, I had to do it. I had to do it. It was too easy. It was too easy. Huh? Because it's out the norm. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it's out the norm. Why do people have a problem when you do something that's unexpected? Because it was unexpected? Right? It was too easy. I couldn't let it go. I couldn't let it go. Continue.
Do you think that they have a fundamental problem with it, or are they conditioned to have a problem with it?
Condition.
No, it's the discourse surrounding it. For an example, I don't care who you date, black, white, orange, yellow, purple. I could care less. But I've only seen it be an issue for 2 reasons. One is the discourse. I'm weak, not the balloons. The discourse around putting black women down and saying that white women are on a pedestal over black women, and or some black women feel like, damn, I really want to date a black man. We already don't have a pick of the litter. Now you taking away from that. So I've only ever seen that be an issue for 2 reasons.
So that means it's an issue. Hey man, look, you can't minimize it and be like, but like it's not an issue, but I've only seen it be an issue when we don't get to choose the type of black man we want because they're with a non-black woman or white woman. So you saying it's an issue? Huh? And because black men be low-key bashing us around these white women. No, we ain't doing it. It's definitely not happening the way you think it's happening. Huh? Ah, continuing.
Yeah. So I've only ever seen that be an issue for two reasons: not because they hate, and not because they jealous, not because they want somebody like they mammy. And then two, while I agree with Shorty on the video, she had a little bit too much dip on her chip. So I needed her to take some of that dip off because it was like, well, okay. But I mean, me personally, I don't care who you date.
Wait, what's a dip? What that mean? Dip in her, what does that
She
mean?
had a little bit too much. If you want to date,
Yeah, she was being arrogant about it. Yes, you absolutely right. She was being arrogant about it. That's what she means by dip on her chip. The white young lady was definitely being arrogant about it. We saw it on her face. We saw it in the phrase "stay the F in your lane," directed towards black women. Huh? Black women, appreciate for the masses of you who don't defend black men, particularly in the online discourse, the social media discourse of relationship and interracial relationship. You get what you get. White women think that the door is wide open anyway. Huh? Ah. That's what it really is. And Leon says, see, tell that woman that's some BS. It's the discourse around money when that man dies or passes away. And they exposed their hand with that when Kobe died. When Kobe Bryant died, all you saw online were black women just being so explicit. That B word Vanessa gonna get his money. He left all his life insurance money to that Latina. Now the Latin community going to enjoy that money. All his life insurance going to the Latin community. All that money could have did so much for the black community. You, Leon, they exposed their hand. So you 100% right on that one. That's what it's really about. If you are a rich black man, what it's really about is you elevating a black woman just by being with her in relationship, at least as long as she want to be in that relationship with you. That part, oops. Because what it shows is a rich black man values black women. Okay, I understand the optics of it all. Okay, understandable. And obviously, it's not really about you, by the way. It's about her being able to enjoy your money and your wealth. That part. Definitely that part. Okay, fine. All right. Also, as Leon said, it's about that life insurance money. Yeah. It's about that life insurance money. It's about the money she gets to live off of now. It is about the money she gets to live off of later when you pass. Huh? Continuing.
what you think, what you is, and then she just had to have a video showing her body. And I really don't want to get into it because really, sis, because if you would have just showed us from the neck up,
just can you
I ain't gonna go there, but I'm just saying she had a little bit too much. I needed her to take a little.
Yeah, it is coming off a bit insecure. Whether it is or not doesn't matter here. It is coming off insecure. Neon, it is coming off insecure. What Jeff Brown say? I can't tell you what it is, but I could tell you what it looked like, ma'am. It's looking like insecurity. Huh? Can't tell you what it is, but I could tell you what it looked like. Huh? Continuing.
Take a little bit some of that off of there.
Wait a minute, we can't, hold on, Aaron, we can't do that. Because let's just be honest, when we've seen these other videos of black women, they showing their bodies too. That's one.
Nah, but I feel like she was making a subconscious or subliminal statement by doing that, by having her body in the video and saying all of that.
Wait, I can't show her body? Jazz, you lost a lot of weight, so I know you showing your body if you was doing something.
But it's not for like vanity purposes, just because I'm showing people my transformation. That's a little bit different. And then two, my content, I'm not out there with my...
Not a woman saying it's not for vanity purposes. Not a black woman saying it's not for vanity. A woman, a living, breathing woman on planet Earth saying it's not for vanity. Well, let's even go further than that. From our understanding, a living, breathing, heterosexual woman saying it's not for vanity purposes. What? You're losing weight and taking pictures, and you saying it's not for vanity purposes. It's to show the progress. Huh?
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god, stop fucking lying.
glad I still have that. Huh? We just don't believe you, man. We just don't believe you. Continuing.
Bone. I don't present myself like
Wait,
that.
not
But
you.
She had the scrubs all the way up to her hip bone.
But Jazz,
It
you
was just
might
a
not
lot
do
going
that,
on.
but we haven't seen black women do that. Come on, we've seen black women wear
But
less.
the topic and what she was talking about, she just felt very like, and I'm gonna date me, and like it was almost like I'm flaunting this, like, and so what? What you
Not
gonna
with
do about
you.
it?
I'm
Can
gonna
I,
date
can I ask y'all quick? Can I ask the women a question that feel like this? Do y'all feel like y'all can compete against white women?
I never really thought it was a competition. That's not to say one is better than the other, but I mean,
Well, I mean, yeah, because y'all competing for the best available.
She says that she never thought it was a competition. With that, earlier she did say that we already don't get the pick of the litter. Uh-oh. Anton missed that. He could have came back around and brought that up on her. He could have babbed her on that one. He forgot. Or he probably forgot. He probably forgot. Or he just wanted to move the conversation along and say something else. But yeah, I would have been, wait a minute, did you just say? Like you just said like 2 minutes ago. Didn't you just say 2 minutes ago that black women already don't get a pick of the litter? That would speak to like some type of competition for at least what is perceived as elite black men. Huh? Yikes. Continuing.
Man, right? I mean, life is a competition. Like, if this man is off the market, then that means that he's not available. One of the things that you just said was, well, I ain't gonna get into that. Do y'all feel as though
a lot of black women want to date black men?
You let her get off the hook. I'm gonna get to that. A lot of black women want to date black men. I agree, but there's some caveats there. But yeah, so he let her off the hook. He let her off the hook because so that means he was going to say what Z said earlier, and he let her off the hook. All right, Anton, I see you. I see you. You want to move the conversation along? Okay, I see you. Continuing.
And I think that is a disservice for black women because I think they limit themselves by limiting themselves just to one race, right? But
Look, hey, we gonna make y'all mean that. We making y'all mean that already. I think it does a disservice to black women because they be limiting themselves to only one race. So y'all love that Anwar crap about expanding your options. Hey, you ever got anywhere near a non-black peen, you out there forever for Z. Other black men could try it. For Z, you ever got anywhere near a non-black man in that sense, and you out there forever. We could be the last two people on planet Earth. I guess there won't be no more humans. And I said what I said. Huh? That's double standard, Z. You don't hold black men to that same account. And, ooh, goddamn. And I said that too. Just saying. Huh? Expand their. Hey, Mr. Z is about black men having black women stand on that ego and die on that ego. Huh? So it's not a matter of the white guys ain't choosing up on y'all. It's a matter of y'all not expanding y'all options. Mr. Z is about black men having y'all live on that ego, stand on that ego, and die on that ego. Huh? Continuing.
One race, right? But I do think a lot of black women want to date black men, so that does make their options very.
The whole world.
No, I think she's right. A lot of black women want to date black men, and a lot of black women, most, are relegated to black men, whether they want it to be or not. That's the part you didn't mention. Huh? And Anton's about to say a lot of women want to date black men. That part. Continuing.
Black women. Well, black women are saying that they're not fucking with black men, but
we love y'all down.
That's
okay?
a lie. That's a lie.
All right, Anton.
I mean, black men saying they don't want us either, so I guess they just saying.
Listen, the one.
Nope. What black men are saying is they don't want the overweight. They don't want the attitude. They don't want the snarkiness. They don't want to be part of the gynocracy. It's not about black women. It's about black women's behavior and attitude towards life, and attitude towards black people, attitude towards black men in particular, attitude towards straight black men, even more particularly than that. That's what it's about. It's not arbitrary. Oh, we don't want to be around black women. No, we don't want to be around black women who exhibit this attitude, who don't control their diet, who don't control what goes in and out of their mouth, pun intended. Double entendre on that one. It's not just black women. Y'all just don't want to be with black women. No, we don't want to be with black women who try to justify being assholes to black men because they're mad that they're not upper middle class and rich white women. Huh? It's not just black women. Huh? Black men say they don't want to be. Okay, fine. Black men say they don't want to be around black women, and show me the men in en masse that said they do want to be around black women. Yikes! I'll wait. Huh? I'll wait. Continuing.
That I've experienced personally, and same as RM, probably the same as Brandon. And it's so funny because we all have a completely different, chick as far as the color of their skin or whatever it is they want to represent, right? And it's funny. I don't know. I'm guessing it wasn't intentional with the people that you picked, but we all represent a different type.
Anton, you noticed race, and then you tried to walk it back a little bit. You know, the difference in the color, in the skin, in what they represent, bro. Just say, look, he got a white woman or a non-black woman, and I got a black woman. My wife is black. Wow, Anton, you can't escape race in America, bro. You can't escape race, and it's not just black people bringing it up. He tried to, okay, we have two different races of women, and what we noticed, you tried to walk that back or minimize it after you said it. You were trying to water it down, and then you still tried to walk it back a little bit. Stop. Continuing.
Which is nothing more than a preference. And me personally, I believe that anybody should talk to anybody they want to. I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. However, I will add in that I can't tell you the amount of black women that has DM my wife or reached out to her in an email and was saying, I hope you break up your marriage. I can't tell you how many
Oh, we're about to get to the good stuff.
Have hated on me. I can't tell you how many black women have been some of the most evil to me, even though I employ majority women that are black, and I'm married to a woman that is probably darker than everybody on this panel. And so it's funny to me because, again,
so the lady who's about to speak is the lady at the very bottom right hand corner. The very bottom right hand corner with the black on. I don't know, is that Jazz? JAS? Right? And y'all gives you a second, y'all talk amongst yourselves.
y'all hate us no matter what. It don't matter if we marry y'all, if we don't marry y'all, if we rock with y'all, if we don't rock with y'all. Y'all are such, and I'm not talking about anybody here. Y'all are angry women. Y'all don't know what y'all want. Y'all want to decenter us.
So Z agrees with that, but at the same time, he's playing with the angry black woman trope. So if you want to talk about two things could be right at the same time, Anton is right, but the fact that white folks say that is kind of dangerous. I don't know, Anton. I agree, but right? I don't know, bro. What are you letting in with that door being open? What's coming in that door with you? Huh? I don't know. Continuing.
Y'all don't know what y'all want. Y'all want to decenter us, and then you celebrate us, and you hate us, and then you want us to break up. And it's just like, at some point, you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, "Damn, is it me? because the winners is getting picked. I mean, seriously, like people with good disposition,
Agreed.
people that have a good spirit, that whatever, we rock with them. Y'all don't even realize that the majority of what we care about don't even got nothing to do with with how you look. Looks is a factor,
Agree.
but more importantly, can we be around you without you being an angry woman, even if it's not angry towards us? Are you an
Agree.
angry person in general? And that is so off-putting. It is. And I just don't think y'all like yourselves. You can't love yourself because everything, look, no matter what nobody say, I adore myself, which limits what anybody could say about me, because if I love me, who could be against me? And I just don't think y'all like yourself. I think that y'all are disgusted with who y'all are and your lot in life. And to answer Jazz's comment that she made earlier, I think that you want to be a white woman. It would serve you so beautifully if you could reverse the fortunes of what you complain about on a regular basis. And if you could be the thing that you hate the most, you would love it. And that's
Anton, sound like you've been listening to Z, but he came to this conclusion himself. And that speaks to race and the thing that you were minimizing on the last clip I covered. Huh? The political, social position of white women because of how America's been constructed and how America has been designed. Huh? Yikes. You know what it is, Anton. You just hit this lady upside the head with it, and you're right, by the way. I'm not saying you're wrong. Huh? Continuing.
complain so much is because you can't be the thing that you envy.
No, I don't.
All right, I guess we'll continue for what for now. All right, we're back. Continuing.
That's why you're so hateful.
I'm hateful because I'm not hateful. That's number
You
one.
said it right the first
If
time.
No, you
I'm
said what?
hateful for a half a
Look,
disdain.
Anton. Look, I'm not saying Anton has listened to Z, but that is definitely a Z response. No, you said it right the first time. That is definitely, as a matter of fact, I'd have caught BGS up on that, Charles up on that, Black Uru up on that. Yeah, I've said this like a zillion times. All right, that is definitely a Z response right there. Now you said it right the first time. Exactly. Y'all give Z a second. It was definitely a Freudian slip. That it definitely was. We're back. Right? Definitely a Freudian slip. Right? I'm hateful. No, well, I'm not hateful. Nah, you said it right the first time. You definitely said it right the first time. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. I'm gonna check them likes in a minute. Continuing.
Women or white people as a collective, because I know there are several white people that are just people that happen to be white, right? There are white people and then there are people that happen to be white. I'm talking about the white people. I'm talking about the people that uphold systemic racism. I'm talking about the white people that call in little black babies N-words. I'm talking about the white people who go out their way to make black people's lives hard, right? So you say things like, oh, I think all these black women hate me. Anton, I've never heard you say anything good about black women, ever. So why would they like you? Why would they DM your wife and say, "Girl, you got a good man"? Girl,
Why are y'all DMing my
Here's
wife
the
at
good
all?
stuff.
Why are y'all DMing my wife?
I'm not saying that's appropriate, but I'm saying, are you really surprised? You don't really have anything nice to say about. Well, wait, you really don't have anything nice to say about black people.
But can I jump in?
When she says you don't have anything nice to say about black people, what she's really saying is y'all don't be kissing black women's ass. Y'all don't edify us. Y'all don't reassure us. Y'all don't do that. Oh god damn, y'all live on the same planet with white women and y'all don't know how to act. Anton know what it is. That's why he called you out on it. Huh? Anton know what it is. That's why he called you out on it. Black women are not looking to just have positive things said about them and to them. They're looking to be worshipped to make up for the absolutely insane inferiority complex they have because they live on the same planet in the same solar system and the same galaxy as white women. The black women like this, right? You can't satiate that. Continuing.
So from there, you got to understand, like, you kind of play in the part in the hate that you earn. G, you do. You don't really say anything nice. I've never heard you say anything nice or uplifting about black women. It's always speaking about a degenerate type of black woman, a black woman that ain't this, a black woman
Then
that
why
ain't
you
that,
so? Then
baby mama this, baby
Well,
mama
if
that.
that's the
So
case,
you
if
earn
that's
the
the
hate.
no. Listen.
Listen,
It's
no,
a
okay,
difference. It's a difference between angry black women and the women that rock with me. Everybody.
You should let her actually finish that statement because what she's saying is you've earned it. You've earned that hate. But you don't say anything positive. Now, Anton's going to talk about what he does for black women. It's not good enough. Brother, it's not good enough. What she's saying is you don't worship. Don't expect her to use those exact words. You don't worship at the altar of black women. You don't do your best rendition of Derek Jackson and tell black men, hey, by the way, everything you do in relationship to black men, excuse me, everything you do in relationship to black women is wrong. And everything they do in relationship, everything black women do in relationship to black men is correct and right and on the right side of history. And because you don't do your best rendition of Derek Jackson, then you don't speak positive. I never hear you say anything nice about black women. Huh? Oh, man. Continuing.
That rock with me. Everybody know. Listen, if you don't know, my Patreon, the people that truly rock with me.
You talking about these internet people, man?
No, I'm not. I'm talking about people that meet up with me in real life because we actually connect with each other. We know each other. We feed into each other. We fund each other's businesses. I don't have to say anything because most of the women know that I've given them the seed money to even start their businesses that allow for them to feed their families. You know this. I don't have to talk about nothing. And
Okay, but
I
Anton,
no,
but
no, no, no,
racist
no. Hold on, hold
companies
on, hold on.
silence
Because
black people all
you
the
said
time.
some stuff that's not
That means
true.
nothing.
You said
Just
some stuff
because you
that's
can
not
cut a
true.
check,
I'm sorry.
just
Give me a
because you
second.
can cut a check,
Give me a second. Give me a second.
but you
And the
cut me
reason
off
that I need
first
you to give me a
though.
second is
Oh,
because I've
you're
been very
cutting me off.
quiet and I've been patient and I've been observing a lot of what you've been saying and whatever.
Yeah, but I was talking. You cut me off, babe.
But you can't just say stuff that's not true. The majority of the people that rock with me are women.
Man, what is it about black women in particular, black women like this, that don't respect other people's stuff? They think they can impose their will, their feelings, their thoughts on others. You're on his platform. If he cuts you off, so be it. But you cut me off and you even, it's his platform, right? It's his platform. Mr. Z has a platform. Sometimes we have 10 people up. As a matter of fact, often we have 10 people up. Everybody cutting everybody off. But when Mr. Z interjects, everyone stops except for the elders sometimes. Like, oh, a freight train, he gonna keep on going. It's his platform. You cut me off. I didn't get to finish a thought, you dusty Negro. Wow. Continuing. Oh, y'all gives you a second. I think I pressed on. Okay, there we go.
Black women. And the interesting thing about it is that every single day, every morning that I do a live stream, the first thing I do is I call them out. I tell them how much I love them. I show them love. Jerry be there. There'll be multiple people there on a daily basis. I show them love. I make sure that they get all of their flowers and all of their accolades. I don't feel like I need to prove it because they know it. And that's the only thing that matters. So
Uh, 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 uh. No, Mr. Anton, that is not the only thing that matters. You are not publicly prostrating yourself in front of the world for black women. You are not publicly, you're supposed to get online and call out black women every single time and worship them for about an hour or so before you say a word about anything else. You are supposed, anyone you ever have visit or anyone you ever have on the panel or panel discussion, you're supposed to make sure they pay fealty to black women before you do anything else, before they utter a word about anything. Calling black women privately and saying, hey, I just want you to know I really appreciate you. I really love you. I have love for you. You're doing right by me. I'm going to make sure I do right by you. It's not public enough. Well, it's not public. Huh? No, Mr. Anton, you don't get to have black women that you're doing right by in private. Nope. And we're talking about platonically. Nope. You have to publicly worship them. You have to get on your knees in front of them and bow. Y'all think Mr. Z be joking when I say that. I'm like, I'm not joking. Their inferiority complex is that great. Don't expect them to admit it out loud, though. Huh? And you're a black man and you subject her to being in America around white women, and you think she don't want you to worship her and apologize every single day for not making her an upper middle class and above white woman? What are we doing today? Brain trying to take over the world. No, trying to turn black women into white women, politically and socially at least. Huh? The same thing we do every night. Huh? You think you're gonna be a black man on this planet and definitely in America and not worship black women and not apologize because slavery was your fault? Ooh, god damn. And Jim Crow, that definitely was your fault too. Huh? And everything post Jim Crow, that's your fault too, because they still ain't white women. Huh? And the congregation says amen. Huh? And the congregation says, Amen. Black men should be on their knees in front of black women. And not for fun time anyway. Continuing.
My results and my real life speak for it, and I really do live it. But I'm curious as to what you do for black people, specifically black women. What have you done for black women?
Well, for one, I form a sisterhood with black women. I make sure that I advocate for them when I'm in my managerial roles in a lot of these businesses that I work in. I don't really need to go about saying what I do for people. That's not how you show solidarity, because you seem to.
Anton, you got her. You know you got her. She know you got her. Now, Anton's going to go through what he does for black women around him, and there's no comparison. And there's no comparison. But Anton, you still lost that debate. You want to know why? Because she's a black woman. Her mere existence is better than anything you've ever done for black women, including your own wife. Your own wife and daughter. Huh? Continuing.
That just because you can cut a check and give a check to
big
somebody,
deal. That's a big
give a
deal.
check to somebody does not mean that you
Oh,
don't.
that's a huge thing. Absolutely, it is.
Can you let me? We get you got money, but you ain't got no love.
It's not
for black
about
people.
if I got money. It's how I disperse it. It's how I share it. I can be selfish. I can hire who I want. I don't need anything or anybody. The way that my systems are set up. No, because you've been cutting people off too.
But you just asked me to respond, and now I'm responding.
Is that I have an operation that I don't need anybody, and it will run the same way.
We're not talking about that. We get it. You got money.
It's not about money. You can cut a check.
You can cut a check, but you don't have love for black people. You don't have love for them. Anton,
does that make you
anti-black? You get up here and you say the most egregious thing.
A black man that just so happened to be a deca millionaire. You the one that keep bringing up every time we talk.
I mean, Anton, you do stay talking about money. I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing. With that, when she say you don't have love for black people, black women, that's what she really means. And that's because you're not worshiping them publicly. Her issue with you is you have a critique of black women in particular. She'll be with you talking crap about black men all day, every day. You better believe she's with that. Huh? So yeah, you hire black women. You have Patreons that are black women, patrons that are black women, right? Black women are all in your comments. You have them on the panel. Yeah, it's not good enough because you're not worshiping, you're not bowing, you're not scraping, you're not doing your best rendition of FD Signifier or Foreign Man in a Foreign Land or Conscious Lee. You're not doing your best rendition of Derek Jackson. Huh? That's the problem. Anwar, whatever the hell that supposed dating coach is. Huh? Yikes. She wants you to bow, especially with how large your platform is. You should be bowing publicly and demanding that other people, men, black men, bow before getting onto your platform. Bow, especially to be before we pray, let's just make sure to think the Most High. Ooh, y'all think Mr. Z gonna mention God? And Mr. Z is gonna mention God. Black women. Huh? Uh-oh. Continuing.
You the one that keep bringing up every time that we talk. You bring up my money.
This is why I get so frustrated.
Money every time that we talk.
Should black men date white women?
Oh, okay, yeah. So it ended. My bad, y'all. So it ended. All right, yeah. That's that. So the reason why I want to cover that is to emphasize to Anton, bro. She wanted you to bow. You know this. The insecurity, what she's arguing is that you're not bowing. Other black men are not bowing. Bow. Huh? Advocating for black women is bowing to them. Being nice to black women is bowing to them and apologizing for slavery and Jim Crow. I didn't say white folks were apologizing. I didn't say white folks not apologizing, just doing right by black folks. No, 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 no. Black men, you apologizing for slavery and Jim Crow, and not for toiling with your fingers bleeding, scraped knees, busted shin, huh? Torn Achilles, because you're working so hard to create an environment where black women are the new white women, rich and elite and powerful and upper middle class white women, huh? Yikes. That is what she's actually charging you with. That is your unforgivable crime, Anton. And all the rest of us, it's not just you, all black men on planet Earth, definitely in America. Your unforgivable sin, your unforgivable crime was allowing for black women to be placed under white women. And, because there's an and, not doing everything, at least this is how they see it, not doing everything in your power to do for black women and make them upper middle class and above white women. This is your crime. This is your sin. Unforgivable sin. Don't expect them to say it. One or two might actually have the ovaries to say it, but for the most part, they ain't gonna say that. They'll talk around it. They'll say, well, you don't ever have anything nice to say about black women. In other words, you're not beating up on black men for black women. You're not worshiping at the altar of black women publicly. Huh? Huh? So, yeah, no, I wanted to cover these two clips from Anton. I was going to cover something else actually, but I wanted to cover these after listening to them. And the title I think is perfect. But have you considered, Anton? Have you considered that what this lady is really saying is that you don't worship at the altar of black women, and what the white woman was saying, or better yet, have you considered concerning that white woman calling the black 5-year-old the N word? It has nothing to do with this respectability thing you were spouting. The lady called him the N word because she wanted to call him the N word because that's what was on her heart, huh? That's what was on her chest, and a number of the white folks that sent her all type of donation money and wrote all type of racist comments while giving her donation money on why they support her only showed that that's what it was about. So essentially, you telling black folks to minimize what they see or turn a blind eye to the anti-blackness, while white folks are telling you, yeah, we're supporting her because she called a black boy, a child, a 5-year-old, the N-word. Do you appreciate what you're justifying? Let's say it again. Anton, the white folks who were donating, at least a third of them explicitly said they're supporting her because of the racist comment, because she called a black child the N-word. So what you're telling black people is to ignore a white racist woman being funded. A third of 700,000 is what? Huh? 233? Something like? And that's for the ones that were explicit enough to make a comment. Huh? So it's not benign what you're saying and doing here. is going to have effects on black people. Huh? Indigo says a black autistic child, from what I've heard, that's racism and ableism gone. No, no, it I heard it was autism also. I heard the kid, the child is, I think, on the spectrum. I don't think it's physical, but either way, this is the issue. Anton, you're bringing up respectability as an argument and saying, you see what you think white people don't see you, you think these other people don't see you, and y'all support BLM and affirmative action, and y'all got all these things and that. And what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Huh? Black fatigue. Imagine white folks are now in the place where they say we just tired of black people, and you got a number of these ass kissing non-black folks, these other people of color, air quotes, people of color. Yeah, we tired of black folks too. Listen here, you pathetic, weak losers. They stomp y'all in the nuts too, Asians, Latinos, cowards. Yeah, we just tired of black people always bringing up race. Wait a minute. White folks rock with y'all like that too? Oh wait, let me get this right. You get a pass. Huh? Jorge, you just could walk in to Amy's house. She don't got you sneaky link too, huh? Ooh, goddamn. Huh? Let me get this right. South Asian men who are getting buff, who are going to the gym, and who white women are ignoring, then turn around and say they have black fatigue and are aligned with the white racist men. Let me get this right. The white dudes, sisters ain't checking for you. They're ignoring you. They're going to the black men in the gym. Ooh, goddamn. They're ignoring your ass. Huh? And then that white woman's racist white brother, but you're aligning with him though. You agree with him. You all with it. Huh? And that's if we assume, as a matter of fact, the person on the screen was a white woman that Anton was reviewing what she said. So the white woman is racist too. Huh? So to the South Asians and the East Asians, the Latinos, yeah, we got black fatigue too. White folks don't care about what you saying. They're gonna pipe your women, toss them back, and then you're gonna be eating at her snacks. God damn, Z, and he rhyming too. Ooh, 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 Z, you didn't have to make it so explicit, Z. You ain't have to do all of that, Z. You ain't have to do all of that, Z. You ain't have to say that. Half your damn audience done thrown up. They done thrown up their lunch, Z. Huh? Goddamn. Shout out to all these other people of color, all these non-white folks. Yeah, we have black fatigue too. Okay, all right. Shut your lame ass up. Huh? Man. Huh. Ray, I ain't even gonna read that out loud. Huh? And use one goddamn term from a video game. He used one he used one fighter's name, and then everybody started using goddamn fighters' names for Asian guys. Ray, hell no, Ray. Oh man. Revlon caught it. I ain't gonna highlight it. Oh man. But we know this, right? And they know this too. When Austin Dunham did the part of you're not ugly, you're just not white, right? And you saw all the dudes of color in the comments, and they understand race then. They understand not being white then, huh? When Kidology did the coverage of why so many women of color are chasing after the white guys are in the comments and they understand race then. The non-white guys, excuse me, the non-white guys are in the comments. They understand race then. All the men of color understand race then. And then they turn around and we got black fatigue. We tired of black people. Shut your lame ass up. 1 foot in and 1 foot out ass. Huh? When the white guy dropped your sister off and he hung the horn and he pull off, you understand race then? Ooh, goddamn, Z. Huh? Y'all understand race then? But you align with the black fatigue thing? White women understand race when they see a white guy they find highly attractive and they know he hasn't touched anything white since he was in high school. He only deal with Asian women. They understand race. White women understand race then, huh? Everybody want to play in black people's face. Black fatigue. Tired of black people bringing up race and how they're quote unquote victims of race, huh? But then there's 3 hour long goddamn borderline documentaries of white guys traveling all through Asia and doing whatever they want to do with Asian women. Ooh, goddamn. What happened? Huh? And then you got Latinos when they want to be honest, when they get hit with the truth spell, when the spirit of truth hit them, they start talking to you about the color system, the color hierarchy in Latin America. Uh-oh. Wouldn't be a color hierarchy in Latin America if it wasn't. Oh, wait a minute. Isn't that based on race? Uh-oh. And y'all gives you a second, y'all talk amongst yourselves. And we're back. Okay, all right, let's read this. And Detroit says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And Detroit says, this old Papa John stuffing Italiano little Bill face looking ass. Look, man, I ain't gonna go in on Anton's look. There's no but Mr. Z is extra average looking too. So, it, it, you know, on this, I don't necessarily think there needs to be an ad hominem attack. Although Mr. Z does engage in ad hominems occasionally. The point of the matter is, especially concerning that we're speaking about a 5-year-old child being called a racial slur. As Charles said earlier, full stop. That's the end of the conversation. It's this is not right. This is unexcusable. Beginning, end. Everything other than that is justification. Everything other than that, anything said other than that is justification. Huh? So whether it's the white woman, well, let me put that back on the screen. Y'all gives you a second. Whether it's this white woman here, or whether it's Anton or anyone else that says anything other, that this is not right, this should not be allowed, this is not okay, what she did is wrong, and stop right there. Anything else that is said is justification, and what they're saying is, actually, yeah, I get it, she right. Huh? And this is, look, man, Mr. Z is not about calling, because Mr. Z has definitely seen these two-stepping, tap dancing, black leftists who do the bidding of white racists on the left by trying to get the Negroes together. So that is not exclusively a black conservative thing. With that, Anton, brothers like you, when y'all talk like this about a 5-year-old black child being called the N-word, and you spent the majority of your time saying, I kind of understand what the white lady was saying, and I kind of understand, I kind of somewhat get it, I kind of understand the black fatigue, I kind of get it. Brother, you make it real difficult to argue against black people that just arbitrarily call black conservatives coons just because. I'm not with it. I've been part of the black manosphere for how long? I don't use that, especially not to a black Republican just because. A black person that tends to vote Republican or claims some type of conservatism, Mr. Z's not about it. Just insulting them and calling them coon just because, no. This public display makes it really difficult, though. Huh? It makes it very difficult. And I'm not even on the same side as you politically. This is what's always assumed. Brother, if the goal is to be honest, if you see how Z moved concerning, okay, fine, the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris situation back in last year, it was clear Kamala was in over her head, etc., etc. You ain't see Z justifying that. Huh? You didn't see Z justifying these black pundits talking to black people on top of crazy, lecturing black men. Obama come out to lecture black men. Black male celebrities coming out to lecture black men. No. Black men, you got to understand. No. And with that, look at what you're doing though. Look at your framing, huh? Huh? And once again, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Detroit and Leon says, why were none of the cops from Memphis and Tennessee? Wait, the cops from which story are you talking about? You talking about Terry Nichols, or you talking about right? Huh? Yeah, Leon, if you're still in here, let me get a little bit of clarification on that comment. But thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. All right. And Indigo says, told y'all, Massage Noir is failing to say anything short of praiseful, laudatory, or worshipful of black women. Yeah, that's what that young lady was engaging in. That's what she was engaged. That's what it is. Kiss our ass, right? That's what she's saying. Kiss our ass. Worship at the altar of us. And once again, I am speaking on the young lady. Let me take this down for just a second. The young lady on the bottom right hand side. So the lady that was speaking earlier is the one in the orange. That's one of the main ones that Anton was speaking to in the beginning, right? When they were speaking about black women and interracial relationships. Then there's the brother with the hat. He's the one that's with a non. Oh no. The brother with the hoodie right here on the bottom. He's the one with the non-black girlfriend that pop up at the family function with the non-black girlfriend. And then the lady on the bottom was the one that pretty much told Anton, "You don't say anything nice about black women, huh?" And I'm glad she said it. I'm glad she said it in context of the conversation because, once again, anything that's not edifying them, kissing their ass, that's what they actually mean, is some type of attack. Hey, Z gets it. Have fun. All right. And Jason says, Happy Mother's Day, though. Mr. Z already called Mama Z and um my lady and her well, call my lady's mom. My lady doesn't have any children. And yeah, and said Happy Mother's Day, and I send the money a couple days ago, so there's that. Right. Bruce Wayne, I ain't gonna say it out loud. I'm hesitant to just throw that word around. I I'm not saying I don't think it. I think it far often than I say it. Right. But I think like you don't want to shut down the conversation so early. You might be misreading things. The person might say something and you'd be like, oh, okay, I was misreading this. This was on me. Right. Or I might have read this person wrong. Right. Before I just throw that word out there. Right. So I'm not even saying you necessarily wrong, but I don't know if see that's uh Mr. Z done boxed his own self in. Bruce Wayne, I think people that were advocating for Kamala, black people that were advocating for Kamala, really showed their hand on that coon thing you're speaking of. And now that Donald Trump has been reelected, people are showing their hand. Other black people are showing their hand when it comes to this coon thing you're saying. I'll say that. Right? I'll say that. Huh? Oh, and Leon says both of the police shootings were cops not from the state. So Tamir Rice was in Tennessee, right? Oh no, that was Ohio. That was Ohio. That was Ohio, right? Um, and yeah, that was Ohio. And Terry Nichols was from that. That's Tennessee. And both of the cops, the male cops that were okay. I get what you're saying, because I thought you were talking about two different incidents. I was like, wait. I brought up because I brought up Tamir Rice. That's what I'm saying. Mr. Z didn't confuse himself. Yeah, Tamir Rice was in Ohio because I know the places, right? So that's one thing. I don't know why I stopped going down the rabbit holes, but I think around Tamir Rice is when I was like, okay, this I can't do it no more. But yeah, Mr. Z used to really be heavy on these cases, and yeah, so I confused myself earlier because I thought you were talking about the Tamir Rice situation. That was Z that included that in there. But so both of the officers over for Terry Nichols were not from Tennessee. That's what you're saying. I get it. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, no, I see that, Saint Cyr. Saint Cyr says, "Did y'all see Trump is flirting with undoing habeas corpus?" Yeah. All right. I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult. It's a mixture of both. And Jason says, "Z, you have enough patience to hear truth even from coons and the like." Yeah, I mean, once again, we're not calling Anton a coon necessarily, but I try really hard, y'all. I'm not saying it's easy to, because it takes some discipline to hear things that sound grating to you, that actually might be insulting, straight up dehumanizing, honestly, and wait to see if the person gonna get on the other side of something. To be most of the times it's not. It's gonna go the direction you think it's gonna go in. But just like for the half a percent chance that it doesn't go the way you think it's gonna go, right? But yeah, overall, brother, to tell you the truth, it's an art form and it is something that Mr. Z works on. I'm not saying I'm great at, well, I might be good at it, but I'm not saying I'm the best at it or I'm perfect. And really, at the end of the day,
I love the game.
I'm just saying that's really what it is. You just gotta have a talent for it. You just have to have a talent for it, for real, right? Yeah. And much of the reason why Miss Z is with Mr. Z right now, and like she said it, like that it's just that intellectual curiosity. It's that ability to speak, the ability to kind of weave, right? So yeah, weave these things together, and I try to stay on top of that, right? Yeah, I try, but it's not it. I think it's a mixture of something that comes somewhat naturally, but then something you still have to cultivate. Because I do think, let me put it this way. I think I agree with Kim Foster on this. Social media broke a lot of people's brain. I agree with her on that. I think COVID broke a lot of people's brains. I think COVID broke a lot of people's brains. I think people who weren't used to being told what to do and to sit down somewhere, it broke their brains. And I think white folks in particular, who are used to getting on flights and going wherever they want to go, dressing however they want to dress, speaking however they want to speak, for the first time in their life, possibly, they were told, you can't come here unless you have a mask. 6 feet apart. And I ain't going to tell you again. If you want to keep this job, you're going to have to get this shot. And it broke their brain. Huh? And I think that's where all the weirdo conspiracy theory, it's the 5G towers, that's what's causing let's not I just want you to remember that for a hot second, we weren't talking about Wutan and the leak theory, which by the way it looks like it was confirmed. It was confirmed. For a hot second, people were talking it's the 5G towers, that's the one that's giving us, huh? I do realize Z never got the shot, right? And y'all still don't see me going around evangelizing and proselytizing about this thing. Because COVID didn't break Z's brain. Huh? It broke people's. So even though we're 5 years out now, we're still reeling from people wanting to get back at the system because they couldn't go shopping, they couldn't go boating, they couldn't go outing, they couldn't go to restaurants. And if they did, you have to have your mask on and you have to, right? 6 feet apart. People elbowing each other in the face for toilet tissue. And it broke people, right? And it broke white folks in particular. And it broke well-off people in particular, because for the first time in a very long time, yeah, you could, money would allow for you to send somebody else to go get the toilet paper for you. But what money didn't allow for you to do is not still be 6 feet apart and not still have this mask on. Huh? I'm not speaking, we're not talking about whether it was justified, whether or no. The fact that whoever the whoever's were, so it was Trump's people initially, and then it was Biden's people, Fauci, right? The fact that you had to wear the mask, you had to be 6 feet apart, huh? It broke people's brains. And I think we're still there. I think we're still there. We're still reeling from that as a society, as a country, huh? And when you see certain black folks, black conservative folks, I wonder if they've really come to terms with a lot of the white folks y'all riding with. That's where they are. That's where they still are, huh? That's why they keep on bringing it up. Because for the first time, for them as an adult, they couldn't give the system the middle finger and say, F that. There was no free white in 21, not during COVID. Huh? City lockdowns? Oh, man. Mr. Z still had work. Mr. Z still had work, y'all. Those expressways were empty. Especially for the shutdown the first few weeks. Expressways were clear in South Florida. Huh? Especially, you already know the expressways are clear in the mornings anyway, but they were, I'm like, God, these, it's like, right? I'm driving 20 some odd minutes on the expressway, 15 or some odd minutes on this, and I've only passed like 3, 4 cars, 5 cars. Oh no. Huh? So yeah, y'all, we had get 2.5 hours. Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the thank you button for the replay squad. As a matter of fact, let's see how them likes look. Did y'all do right by Z or likes? Oh, and 86 listening. Okay, all right. So people were liking. All right. Ah, good point. That you know what, Dylan, I did not think about that. I did not think of, well, I've thought about it before, but I did not think about that just now. And Dylan says we found out who were essential. Let me modify that just a little bit. We found out who was really essential, who was truly essential to this economy. We didn't care no about no financiers, huh? People really, if you were sent home as a person somewhere in the financial industry, and and your people are like, hey, we'll call you when we need you. Guess what? You're not really essential to this society. Goddamn. Rich or not. Ah, huh? Gil Gabby says essential workers was the expression used in Canada. I think we had similar. They use essential workers here too. They use that too, right? Yeah, then we use that term in the U.S. also. Saint Sir says, shout out to having a secure job. Here for that one. Here for that one, right? Huh. Ray, I ain't even gonna read that one out loud, but you're right. Huh? Man. So on that note, y'all, right, once again, we'll pause right there. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. For the love of God, I want to come to y'all with this. I was gonna do a panel discussion, but Z got things to do, right? And y'all ain't gonna catch me with another 7-hour stream. Well, not today. I did that yesterday, right? So I got to work on the intro. I got to come up with a new intro because it doesn't look like I'm gonna win that case. Um, so for those of you that wonder where my intro went, I got banned for the intro. I've been using that intro for how many years? 3 years? Something like that. So yeah. All right, y'all. That got me. YouTube said no, Z. But everything else is still monetized with that intro, though. That's the crazy part. Until they just stopped demonetizing it with the previous 2-3 um streams that I used it, and I had to change it, and then I realized, oh wait a minute, it's the intro. Wait, what? Right? So yeah. So yeah. Yeah, my intro. For those of you that don't know, that's the turbo blow off valve. That's that sound that I make is the turbo blow valve. The sound that y'all would hear is the intro for my live streams and for my videos. That's also turbo blow valve. And yeah, I just got struck for it and started getting demonetized. So yeah, and I'm like, but where I got it from, how is it similar to what y'all are saying? And I heard it, I was like, oh, it is similar. It is, right? Similar where there's almost no distinction. But even with that, 3 years, give or take. So I'll just have to do it again. I'll just use another one. Right. I got plenty turbo sounds to come. Right. Right. Let's see how the Z sound in the next month or so. We'll see. Well, it's gonna be more than a month. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll use my own car. On that note, y'all, like I said, we'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, for the love of God. And yeah, y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Enjoy y'all weekend. Mr. Z out. At least this sound they didn't strike me for. All right, y'all.